So we all didn't get an alert, but it says we're live. Um, so um, I, for years, didn't listen to you about watching the Orville, but now I've been watching it. And I can tell you which episodes I watched recently by like, oh, this actor or this actress was on it. So I just watched the Liam Neeson episode.
Okay.
Do you remember that or no?
Yeah.
It was but do you remember what episode it was?
What do you want me to give a number?
No, just like, oh, what was going on in it?
No, you can tell me since you saw
All
it
right.
today and I saw it years ago.
Yeah, so they went to a like this humongous ship, but there was like a world inside it, and the people like didn't know that there was actual space outside of that world.
Right. Yeah.
And Liam Neeson was like, well, I won't spoil it, but Liam Neeson was in it. And then the episode after that, Charlize Theron was on it.
Right.
So
So
and
just everybody from A Million Ways to Die in the West.
oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. I'd never seen that movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And I really like westerns. And I really like Seth MacFarlane. Is that a Seth MacFarlane movie?
it is.
Oh,
It's
okay.
probably the only Seth MacFarlane movie, if he's
That
not
doesn't
doing
involve a
voice,
bear?
if that doesn't involve voice acting.
Oh, okay. Oh, I gotcha. All right, so you want to play a game?
Sure, let's play a game.
All right, here we go. I'm going to do a line from either Star Trek The Next Generation or Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I'm not that great at impressions, but I'm going to do my best impression of the character that's
Way to
doing the
sell it.
line. And you try to tell me, and can you get you'll probably know who I'm doing just because you've heard me do these voices before. But can you get the context? You don't have to name the episode, but you could be like, "Oh, is that when this was going on?" All right? And
All right.
anybody tuning in now or 5 years from now, you could play along too. All right?
How about 1,000 years from now?
All right, here we go.
Why don't you like
I was about
1980s? Why don't you turn around and then
Yeah,
turn around back
I was
as the
thinking
guy?
I was thinking that, but I don't wanna show the whole part of my other room
Well, I said you turn around, not turn the phone around.
while I'm holding the phone. Alright, alright, here we go. If you can't take a little bloody nose, maybe you ought to go back home and crawl under your bed.
All right, that's easy. That's Q when he
Alright?
first shows him the Borg.
Hey, Q Who, season 2. Alright, you're 1 for 1. Alright? How about this one? Alright? We live in a complex universe full of paradoxes. It's not fair, but that's why we have to keep trying.
I mean, it kind of sounds like Cisco, but I don't know the context.
All right, so that's my best Cisco. All right, and he's talking about history that need to,
Is
you
it from
know,
American History X?
no. It's from an episode called Past Tense Part Two. I think it's a time travel episode. I forget. All right. How about this one? I don't react well to threats, and I don't take orders from gulls.
I'm gonna guess Kira because
Yeah.
she doesn't take orders from gulls. Not
Yeah.
necessarily, not from the impression.
All right. Wait. I don't react well to threats, and I don't take orders from gulls. Let's see yours.
No, that would have been it. I can't best that. That's not to say it was good.
All right. How about this? All right. Sometimes a lie is a small price to pay for peace.
Garrick.
It is Garrick.
You know what's funny is I just got it from your eyes.
Well, my impressions are, I try to inhabit the character. It doesn't necessarily sound like them. All right.
Sound like, look like.
All right, here we go. Ugh. You might as well order a river to reverse its course. It can't be done. Jordy.
It's Shorty.
No.
No. Um, Worf. I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
really?
Worf. Yeah, because like
That was a
he's.
horrible Worf.
All right, well, give me a better one.
You might as well. I mean, you could have at least been like deeper in your voice. You
Oh, I've got
might
a
as well.
I've modulated. My voice is higher. Uh, Not really.
We'll do it in
Um,
post.
all right, I'll try it again. It can't be done. Is that better?
It can't be done.
All right, you got a deeper voice than I do. All right. All right, how about this one? It's not the Let me try again, sorry. I can't look at you while I do it. It's not the world that's flawed, it's the people in it.
Um, I have no clue.
It's really bad. Let me try it again, all right?
Give me the series.
Well, it's DS9. Here we go. Let me try it again. It's not the world that's flawed, it's the people in it.
Oh, Odo.
It is Odo, but, like, I practiced these, and before I swear I did Odo so much better.
That was Odo?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I got it. I got
Yeah,
it from what you did.
you didn't get it the first time,
No. You
but,
should have done a
you might.
French accent
How's that work?
because he's French. He has a French accent. The
Renee?
actor. Yeah.
Is that what that accent is? It's French?
He's French, yeah.
I know
What was
he's
funny,
French, but
I've told you I know, but no, but like I saw him in the show Boston Legal,
okay,
and every once in a while, like he was not playing a French guy. He was playing like a New England like Anglo-Saxon guy. But every once in a while, there would be some word that like had a French pronunciation, and it would just like be like, "Well, I blah blah blah." If that makes
no,
sense.
yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out. I mean, I even saw him in like interviews, and I never got like a thick. What was it, like French Canadian
It
or something?
would, but what I'm saying is, and this was just in the show Boston Legal, it would be words that weren't French, but he would do a French pronunciation of the word. And I don't remember
Okay,
what the words were. I mean, this is years ago. But it'd be like, oh, that shouldn't sound like that unless you're doing it with a French accent.
okay,
Also, he sounded very French in Little Mermaid. He plays the
all
French
right,
chef.
right. All right. So I got another one for you. Ready?
Yeah. What else am I doing?
The unknown is what defines our existence. Sometimes it's thrilling, sometimes it's terrifying.
Well, just from the bad English accent, I'm guessing it's Bashir.
No,
It's not O'Brien.
no, it's Picard.
I didn't even like that. Didn't even like
Well, because you're
register in
brain's
my
still
mind.
on DS9. The unknown is what defines our existence.
I've heard you do Picard before. You do a much better Picard than that. The unknown, the unknown. Like that doesn't sound anything like him.
The unknown is what defines our existence. Sometimes it's thrilling, sometimes it's terrifying.
See, that's good. Now do current day Picard.
The unknown is what defines our existence. Talking to Q about the Borg, or like right before he throws him to the Borg. That's what he says. All right, I got one more for you. You ready? You want to see how far you could push a man? This is your chance.
No, no clue.
It's DS9.
Well, that I figured. Just because I know most TNG lines.
All right, I'll do it again. You gotta look at
Yeah.
my face.
Okay.
You want to see how far you can push a man? This is your chance.
I don't know.
All right. It was DS9's answer to the inner light.
All right. So you're doing like it's one of the characters, but they're playing a different role.
Not exactly. It's called Hard Time, the episode.
I know the episode, but I'm trying to think of who you're doing.
Well, who else would I be doing if it's called Hard Time?
You're doing hard time. You doing a big boss man?
So if you know the episode, what happens in the episode?
Why you gotta call me out? Um, it's
This this is
what?
one of those like I watch this episode every year episodes.
It's not the one where like he's a newspaper reporter.
No,
Uh, it's not a
no,
bad guess, right?
no. O'Brien gets sentenced to 20 years in prison, and they implant the 20 years memory in his mind.
You're very much more of a DS9 guy than I am.
I know, I am, I am, I am.
I put it this way, every DS9 episode I ever watched, I watched with you, if that makes sense
It does, and I've watched a lot more
after
in
that.
the
Yeah.
ensuing 20 years.
Yeah.
Um,
20 years is generous.
25, yeah, in the
Yeah.
ensuing 25 years, yeah. So we got a lot of videos coming out this week.
I have like two in the making.
Okay, I had an idea for a take on tapestry that I want to run by you.
Oh, I meant to ask you, like, what was that take on Tapestry Cat?
Well, all right. So the idea behind it, right? And first of all, it's a great episode. It's one of my favorite. Um, who am I to say how they could have done it better? But I think they could have done it better. Um, because at the end of the day, Q shows Picard a horrible life, a horrible existence. Someone who just has this very mundane job. He has no friends, he has no family, he has no romantic interest, no children. Like he's just basically alone.
Yeah.
Or you could be this great captain of the Enterprise. One of the things that I like what they do is they don't go for the, well, if he doesn't change history. He says, no, don't worry, everything, all the good
Right.
things he ever did will still be. But like he when Picard just was like, yeah, I'd rather
Well, what about
be
that line? What about that line Q gives him like, yeah, like anything you did, it's not really that consequential. You know what I
right.
mean?
I think that was just his line, but he says that while saying like, "Fine, I won't change the timeline."
Right, right.
You know, "Don't worry, you killed all those people in Wolf 359. Don't worry, Picard." So, but I feel like had he shown Picard, the safe route, but not just like the worst loser in the world's life.
Well, it's not even worse. It's like you're as much of a loser in all the other aspects of life, except now you're not a captain. Is
Right.
kind of what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, no, so you're saying, like, because he's the captain, he has all these accolades, he doesn't I mean, I don't know if he has friends. I would you say that Captain Picard has friends?
No. But
Because
I look
it's
at it
lonely at the top.
sort of like an RPG where you're filling in all the points. So like if you're gonna be like the kind of captain that he was, like you're filling all of those things up with the aspects that needs to be a captain.
Leadership, right?
Leadership, courage, all that kind of thing. And then like
Right.
the things that would lend itself to being a family guy and, a friendly guy, you kind of leave in barren. But
Okay.
like so then it's like, well, when he's that junior lieutenant, what are you filling up his other attributes with?
Right.
You know?
Does he
Yeah.
have any hobbies? Does he
Maybe he plays the flute.
there you go. But, like, I feel like it would have been more interesting had they filled in some of those areas with anything else, so that it just wasn't like, oh, the had you taken a different path, then his life should have been different other
Right.
than you didn't become the captain.
Right.
But, you know, maybe that didn't go with the point they were trying to make. If I pull on a string, the whole tapestry of my life would unravel.
Yeah, that's still a bad Picard impression, but
Well, now I'm just doing the line. I'm not doing the impression.
yeah, no, I agree. It's like um it could have been probably a good 2, 3 part episode where, yeah, both in you figure like in Inner Light he had a family and he saw what that life was like,
I'm not sure.
but he didn't have a choice of whether or not to choose that or be Captain Picard. It just ends, and
Yeah, that's
then
I guess in the Nexus he had like
yeah,
sort
but
of
now
like
you're
a
going
family,
like
but
I'm
right,
just talking about original like the series.
right.
And then like and also that's sort of like a fool's paradise. Like living Nexus is not like real. And he
I'd
knows
sign
it's
up
not
for it.
but he knows it's not real. And I think
Right,
that's what bugged him. And
right.
then in Tapestry, he doesn't really have a choice to like had they given him a choice like, oh, you're this junior lieutenant, but you're fulfilled in other ways. Oh, you have a family, you have friends, whatever. A hobby. But no, it was just sort of like, yeah, you're alone and you're kind of like this, loser that, never really took a chance.
Well, maybe I mean part of the problem with did so I'll call him Lieutenant Picard, right? Do you think
Junior
that
Lieutenant
Junior
Picard.
Lieutenant
They
Picard
made it like a point of saying that.
did he have the ambition of Picard? Or do you think, oh, now that he's jumped into that life, he still has the ambition that he always had as captain?
When Q leads them off and he's like the junior lieutenant, now he has the captain's. Yeah, he
Right.
wants. That's
No,
why
but I
he has
mean,
that whole meeting with Riker and Troy.
no, I
Like,
know, but
hey, like, how can I advance?
well, I mean before that, whoever that Picard would have been, was he
No,
devoid of the ambition?
because he like he wussed out and didn't take on the Nausicaan, and so now like that dictated every other action he ever made. Thought he had, which is silly, but.
Well, I mean, think about that Picard. All right, forget about the fact that the captain jumped into that body. Let's say it was some alternate timeline where that Picard exists. I think he still has the ambition, just it's unfulfilled, and that is what makes that life so sad.
Yeah, I can see that. It's not like he was a completely changed person and now he didn't have those ambitions. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Now, but the other thing is, like, hey, at least you have your life. You got a lot of years ahead of you. Like, like it's the 23rd century or 24th century. You might live another 50, 60 years of healthy life. Like, go get it.
True. But his voice is gonna get really raspy. All right, what else you got?
Well, so I got some ideas, for ideas about different scenarios or things that these are like not fleshed out at all. So maybe we could do it here. I was thinking of like, in the pale moonlight.
Yes.
How's that go?
In the pale moonlight.
Yeah,
I can live with it. Can I? I will live with it.
right.
Because I can live with it.
Computer, delete this entire message.
Computer,
So,
delete this entire personal log.
so I thought that if if they wanted to, I first of all, great episode. Who the hell am I? But I felt like they could have added an element of like personal to Cisco by somehow getting Jake involved. Maybe getting Jake to perform some sort of having to lie to somebody so that like not only was he like professionally corrupt, but now he was corrupt on a personal level, but he was still willing to do that. I just thought that that would be, and like maybe Jake found out, and he's got to kind of live with Jake knowing. It's one thing to know something and hold it in stoically, but to have someone else
Yes.
know, that
But
might
maybe that was
be,
the point. Maybe that's the point where he says, because I can live with it. Maybe that would have been a bridge too far.
well,
As
that's
long
why I'm
as
bringing it up.
I know. But maybe like he was really good at carpent.
At saying the word compartmentalizing.
Thank you. Like, and having, because I mean, it's kind of weird just being on the ship and having your family there. But he
Yeah.
seems to be good at like kind of keeping all that stuff separate. Can you say that word again? I want to try it. I want to practice saying that.
Compartmentalize.
Compartmentalizing it.
Yeah. Good job. Um, I also thought like, because like I think of like the iconic episode. So I was thinking of the Inner Light, right? And that would happen in season 4. And I was thinking like, what happened if in season 6 they somehow find out that the that civilization actually was like still existed, and he theoretically could go back and like check on his ancestors um, or what would it be? It's not ancestors. It'd be your offspring, or
Yeah. I mean, if they were gonna do that, they'd do some kind of little wormhole time thing where it's like he could like literally just see his family. The only thing
well,
is like, do we actually think that it is his family, or is it just in like a little implant in his mind?
well, do you mean like Orf could have went there and it would have been the same family?
Yeah. I mean, I think I always took it as it was just sort of a, kind of like a total recall type of implant.
Oh yeah, me
Ah,
too. 2
You know
weeks.
what's funny is,
When's
you
the
know,
sun going supernova?
when they were like, when in Total Recall, when they go through the window and they're, like, out in the atmosphere of Mars, it kinda looks like Gowron, his eyes, like
Right, right. It's hard to talk like that.
It's hard to
Alright.
listen to you looking at you like that.
Alright.
What was the point we were making?
We were talking about, if Picard would if that,
Right, I
well,
don't think it's
well,
I
you
mean,
had a
those
good one.
people are dead and buried for, like I mean, shit, they aren't even buried, they're just get
Murdered or
toasted to a
whatever.
cri
Yeah.
microwave to a crisp, for
Well,
thousands. I mean, didn't you get the impression it was, like, thousands of years?
yes, yes.
Eons, as some
So,
might say.
I guess some wormhole situation, I guess that's going, you know I mean, I'm surprised they didn't do that in, like, Picard season 2 or season 3 because they basically threw everything in.
Mm. Patai shows up, I don't know if that actor's still alive.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I'm not gonna look it up now. Um, I got another one for you. All right. So, what if in man, what's the name of that episode? Um, remember Troy? When
Yeah, I
she,
remember her.
yeah, but it was,
She was the empath?
yeah, but she was in that episode, Face of the Enemy, where she was a
Oh,
Romulan
Romulan,
spy.
yeah.
Like she was a spy, but for the well, actually, now I forget how that one worked out. They kidnapped her and made her a Romulan?
I wanna say she was I always g I mean, I haven't seen that one in a long time, but I would say she was more like, some sort of agent, don't you think?
On whose side? Whose side is she on?
Yeah, I don't know, I'd have
But
to
but then
rewatch that,
she
it's been a
but then she,
while.
like, forgot who
I
she
just remember the
was.
haircut because like, a lot of, like, girls were getting that haircut back in, like, the early to mid 2000s, so she was kind of a the Romulans were technically, even though it's supposed to be the future, they were ahead of their time.
Yeah, alright. Well,
So what was your point about Troy?
oh, no. Well, I'm pretty sure she, like, loses her, memory. So and she, like, kinda lives as a Romulan, like, in her mind, the Federation is the enemy. And I thought that, like, a lot of these episodes are one and done, you never hear about it again, and it wasn't until
Yeah, that's
Deep
probably
Spa
why I don't have we don't have a great grasp of what happens in those episodes.
right,
I remember the visual of it.
whereas on, like, a show like Deep Space Nine, which you haven't watched in a while, they would definitely call back to that, like
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like DS9 and I do remember, and like I said, we watched it together for like 25 years ago, and then I'll watch the odd episode here and there. But one thing DS9 had even more than certainly Star Trek Next Generation was it was just more of a story arc,
right.
whereas TNG was more one and done.
Yeah, episode of the week.
Yeah,
I remember it stood out that when Picard went to see his brother, and then they were referring back to what happened with the Borg, it was like, "Oh, they don't usually do this,"
right,
you know? They never mentioned Riker's brother again, although they did on Deep Space Nine. Um,
right.
things like that. And it's not his brother, it's his clone. I
Are you
guess.
my clone?
Yeah, I guess so. I make the same stupid joke at the same time. All right, we're coming up to that 30-minute mark. So I'm gonna sign off here. Can you do the live long and prosper? I can't. Yeah, I can't do it one-handed.
Are you supposed to put the thumb together or not?
No, I can't do it, but you know, I can't
Wait,
do
try this
it. Well, we're demonetized now.
from a visual.
Yeah. All right.